Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest of boxing. Now, I'm going to jump straight into it. Some people hit me up asking my opinion. Thought I was going to go Ego Valley in this video. It's not even necessary. It's just I'm going to give my thoughts, and that's going to be it. Right now, I'm on Oscar De La Hoya, his verified Facebook account. He left another Dear Floyd type of letter like he did a long time ago. And I'm going to read what he said and give my thoughts. Oscar De La Hoya says, "To my fellow boxing fans, I write in hopes that together we can protect the sport of boxing. With each passing day, it looks more and more likely that the circus known as Floyd Mayweather vs. Conor Mcgregor will be coming to town in the near future. As undercard fights start to take form, athletic commissions give their blessings in exchange for millions of dollars, and the fighters start counting even more cash. One group will eventually be left to make sure this farce doesn't occur. We, the fans, who are the lifeblood of our sport. Boxing is starting to dig out of the hole that Floyd and Manny Pacquiao shoveled by waiting 7 years, which is an exaggeration, to put on a fight that ended up being as dull as it was anticlimactic, which is Pacquiao's fault because he didn't have the salt water. 2017 has started off as a banner year for boxing. Joshua Klitschko, Thurman Garcia, Golovkin versus Jacobs, Canelo versus Chavez. I don't know why you would put Canelo Chavez in that sentence. Those other fights were great. I covered Golovkin Jacobs, Thurman Garcia was great, and Joshua Klitschko was great. Canelo versus Chavez was some bullshit, and I was upset. But let's keep going. All 4 of these fights and many more have brought the fight game back and reinvigorated interest from the ever elusive casual fan. But if you thought Mayweather-Pacquiao was a black eye for the sport, a matchup between 2 of the best pound-for-pound fighters that simply didn't deliver, just wait until the best boxer of a generation dismantles someone who has never boxed competitively at any level, amateur or professional. Our sport might not ever recover. I fully understand the initial attraction from any fan of combat sports. McGregor is almost certainly the best pound-for-pound MMA fighter. Floyd is Floyd, the most dominant boxer of our time. But success is in one sport does not guarantee success in another. Far from it. And let's be clear, there are 2 different sports, from the size of the gloves fighters wear to the size and shape of the ring to the fact that one sport allows combatants to use their legs to strike. This is a lot of stuff. Like, man, I don't even know if I want to read the whole thing. Think about it. Beyond Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, what other athlete has successfully competed in 2 sports in the modern age? And Jackson and Sanders both played baseball and football throughout their high school and college careers before going professional. Furthermore, it's not like McGregor would be fighting a good fighter, let alone a mediocre one. He would be fighting the best. To use a bit of an extreme analogy, I happen to be a pretty good golfer. Could I potentially hold my own on one of the second tier tours? Maybe. But would I be able to compete with Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Sergio Garcia? Of course not. Nor would I think to try. Now, I know critics will say that I'm only writing this letter because my company is promoting that will be the culmination of an outstanding boxing year, Canelo versus Triple G in September, and I don't want anything to distract attention away from that. But my interest is in the health of boxing as a whole. It always has been, and if Floyd were to come out of retirement to take on someone like Keith One-Time Thurman, Errol Spence, or some other top welterweight, not only would I applaud the fight, I'd be the first one in line for a ticket. That kind of fight is what the fans want, and I am the fan first deserve, which brings me back to the circus. Floyd, Conor, motivation is clear. It's money. In fact, they don't even pretend it's not, but it's also a lack of consequences for when the fight ends up being a disaster that is predicted. After this fight, neither of them will need us anymore. Floyd will go back into retirement, presumably for good this time, with another 9-figure paycheck, and Conor will go back to the UFC. It's a win-win for them, and it's a lose-lose for us. We'll be $100 lighter, and we will have squandered another opportunity to bring boxing back to its rightful place as the sport of kings. At this point, only we can shut down the circus by making it clear that we won't pay to see this joke of a fight and telling our casual fan friends that they shouldn't either. Sincerely, Oscar. Now, this is, if I've never seen hating before, this is the epitome of that. This is indeed, to me, like, this is another level of hate that I'm seeing, that I'm reading. You know what I mean? And I'm like I said, I'm not gonna bash Oscar as a person. I don't have to do all that. You know what I mean? People could try to block me from attending their promotions or whatever. I don't care. I actually make more money when I don't cover fights, because covering fights, it's a tax write-off, but you have to pay the money up front to travel and stuff like that. But I will speak my mind, believe that, right? And I'll do it, like I said, I'll do it respectfully. This is just some hating ass shit, right? It is what it is. Like, I talked about this on my Instagram. I'll put what I post, and I said Oscar De La Hoya got to get that hate up out of his heart. You can't cock block something if the fans want to see it. That's pure hating. And I said, what about when De La Hoya served us up Canelo versus Amir Khan? No catch weight, no rehydration clause. A guy who only had 3 welterweight fights, right? Count them. And been stopped in 2 previous divisions and hurt in others. He got dropped in a fight with Julio Diaz, a career lightweight. So most people knew. That's why I made 7 reasons that fight shouldn't happen next, Canelo versus Khan, because I knew the outcome. Canelo was too big. Khan could do great, like he did do, for 4 or 5 rounds or whatever, 3-4 rounds. And then the inevitable, if he got caught flush, then it would be a problem because Canelo is much bigger. You know what I mean? Khan's now on the horn saying he believes that Canelo was 30 pounds heavier than him on the night of the weigh-in or whatever, right? So what about that? Where was the petition for that? Or Canelo versus Liam Smith? I never even really heard of Liam Smith. I didn't even know he was related to Paul Smith when that fight was announced. It's one thing to not like and support with your own money, but to publicly try to tell others how to spend their earned dollars, some hating ass shit. Oscar already missed Canelo's biggest fight to date, which was the Floyd Mayweather fight, the 1 card, right? Because he had to enter a rehab. Plus, Floyd beat you. He beat Oscar De La Hoya, right? Split decision. And he beat your fighter, Canelo. Y'all had the chance to keep the A-side status over him, and you came out short, period. All the extra stuff sounds like jealousy. That's a female trait, like Jay-Z said. Seems like Oscar would be focusing on his cash cows, Canelo Alvarez' immediate threat, which is Gennady Golovkin, instead of worrying about a fight that has nothing to do with his imprint. Food for thought. Yeah, I said it, right? And you see that people are starting to put the comments hating at his finest. Pure hate, man. Shaking my head. Hate is running through his veins. He's a hater, nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like I said, this is where I'm from. That's hating. Like, you have to write a whole dissertation about another fight that has nothing to do with you, a fight that hasn't been announced officially. You know what I mean? The UFC worked their side of the deal out. Maybe behind the scenes, De La Hoya knows some other tidbits from, you know what I mean, a source or something. You know what I mean, he's connected, so maybe he knows that it's going down or something extra that the fans don't know. But it's pure hating, and at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. I'm a realist. The fight is what I agree with De La Hoya. We all know the fight is intended to make money. There's no one that Conor McGregor could face in the UFC that will garner and generate the same payday as Floyd Mayweather, vice versa. But to try to shit on a fight that has nothing to do with you and tell the fans how to spend their money, to me, that's kind of corny. Like, because at the end of the day, it won't work. You know what I'm saying? As soon as Conor McGregor gets on the horn, you'll do fucking none, Floyd. Hey, Mayweather, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, when he's doing his little spiel, it doesn't matter. People aren't going to revert back to your Facebook rant, which is 4,000 characters long or whatever, right? And be like, you know what? I'm not buying it because Oscar told me not to. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you're not a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So you and your immediate circle, your kids, you, Golden Boy, you could do what you do and not promote it and focus on Canelo versus Golovkin. But to try to condemn another fight, and I'm not even saying this is the greatest fight, but De La Hoya has been on this quest to everything about Floyd to constantly take shots. And it's weird because he keeps saying that he's said it multiple times. He just said it recently on ESPN First Take. You know what I mean? Point out the lies that I'm saying. He said Floyd is this generation's best boxer, right? And he said it even more. He's like, Conor McGregor doesn't have the experience, plus he's going in against the best. So De La Hoya is admitting that Floyd's the best. The dude is 40. He beat Pacquiao. He beat you. He beat your fighter, who since bounced back and has a major fight in September 16th, which is Canelo Alvarez. So it's crazy. And ultimately, like I said, you can't stop what people want. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say the movie Get Out. I did some research on it, like things that interest me. I usually do some research and look up some factoids or whatever. That movie was made in a very short amount of time with a very small budget. Like they filmed the whole thing in like a month, right? There wasn't a bunch of special effects needed and stuff like that. But guess what? It became a cult classic, and now it's on Blu-ray and whatnot. But people liked it, people enjoyed it, start telling their friends. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if there's been movies like, let's say, Battleship with Liam Neeson and Rihanna. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to make a great movie with a bunch of special effects and loaded it up and things like that. But it doesn't matter because the fans, it didn't resonate with the fans. You know what I'm saying? So my whole point is, ultimately, people are going to support what they want to support, right? I get criticism, I get love. People say, oh, Ego, his channel sucks, he's biased, he sucks, he's boring, right? They say that. But look at the numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I'm growing. I'm not having no problem with that. So if someone says I'm boring or I suck, it doesn't matter, because name somebody in the game who came in the game like me. No cosign, no multi-channel network. I'm not partnered with anybody. I don't have any endorsers. It's just love from the fans. So I don't really care what those people say. You know what I'm saying? They could say whatever they want. Oh, I suck or whatever. Where's their channel at? Where's their articles? Where's their recognition? I go to fights. I get love. People take pictures with me. I take pictures with them, and it's one big family. You know what I mean? The boxing family. So at the end of the day, you can't stop and block somebody else's shine. You know what I mean? Oh, Ego, he sucks, he's boring. Okay. If I'm boring, then you should be doing better than me, right? You know what I mean? I suck. Oh, everybody should be, this should be easy, right? Everybody should have the same reach and the same impressions and insights that I have. It doesn't work like that. So Canelo Golovkin, it's a great fight. We did have to wait for that. You know what I mean? And De La Hoya embellished a bit. He said 7 years for the Mayweather. It didn't take that long. It was like 5 years maybe. But anyway, we still had to wait for Canelo Golovkin. Canelo, his name went through hell where it didn't look like he was trying to fight Golovkin, right? People were calling him a chicken, leaving chicken emojis and putting GGGGs all through his page and stuff. And we're getting the fight. I'm happy. As a boxing fan, I'm happy we're getting the fight. That's great. That's great for boxing. But it's such a great year for boxing. And like, this is how I told you guys, one of my favorite shows is Forensic Files. And the reason I know Oscar De La Hoya is hating is because he's always taking shots at Floyd Mayweather, as if just because he's at the top of the food chain or whatever, doesn't mean everything he does just because you don't like it is ruining boxing. You know, one person, one fight is never going to ruin boxing. You think people are going to forget about Hagler Hearns, Mike Tyson's knockout reign, or Lennox Lewis because they didn't like one fight, right? And another thing, the reason I know is hate, because it's easy to, if you come from where I'm from, you could see it, you know what I mean? You could see it a mile away. And I watch Forensic Files, so I look at the patterns, I look at clues, and I really study the game. One, why would you mention Canelo Chavez Jr., which most fans, it did great numbers, did good live gate and all that good, 10,000 people at the weigh-in, did 1 million plus homes, bravo. But the fight was basuda, it was trash. You know what I mean? I was very disappointed. You know what I mean? Even if you had Canelo winning or you wanted Chavez, it didn't deliver. Canelo looked good, but Chavez he got tapped down to a weight, couldn't get no shots off, and it was terrible. So I don't even understand why you would say boxing is back and boxing is a great year and even remotely try to reference that fight, because that fight was horrible from most people's standards. I know full-blooded Mexican boxing fans that I follow that are friends, and they were looking forward to this fight so much. It was Cinco de Mayo weekend. You had the biggest names in active Mexican boxing, right? And they were like, man, that fight was horrible, even if they were going for Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And you're mentioning that. That's one thing. Other thing is, out of all the fights, Manny Pacquiao is a big star. He's fighting Jeff Horn. If someone says, hey, Ego, you want to watch Pacquiao Jeff Horn, right? Or do you want to watch Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor? Believe it or not, I really would rather watch Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. Not that he has a great chance, but I don't think Jeff Horn has a great chance either. You know what I mean? And if it does that, I think it's just a testament to how far gone Pacquiao is, and him being a senator and not being able to balance stuff. But if Pacquiao shows up like he has in the past, you know what I mean, like he looked even in the Jesse Vargas, Tim Bradley 3, then I don't give Jeff Horn really a chance. But at least the build-up, the whole fight for the McGregor fight, and just seeing a UFC fighter actually box, that is more entertaining to me. You know what I mean? I know Conor McGregor is going to do his part to sell it, but you don't hear De La Hoya bashing Pacquiao and Jeff Horn. Or here's another thing. Miguel Cotto just did a pact with Golden Boy, and he's fighting Kama Guy, who's not even ranked in the WBO top 15, and they're fighting for the WBO belt instead of Cotto versus the number 1 guy who's ranked that's not a champion within the WBO, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. So why are you and Golden Boy partnering up with Cotto to make that fight? Cotto just left Rock Nation. He's bouncing around, working with Top Rank, then working with Rock Nation. Now he's working with Golden Boy. But you're okay with that fight? You know what I'm saying? You were okay with Amir Khan, right, versus Canelo. You were okay with Liam Smith. You know what I mean? You're okay with David Lemieux versus Marcos Reyes, who just got knocked out in his last 2 fights and actually went the distance with Lemieux being a Golden Boy fighter. You were okay with several fights like this that your company put on, and people pretty much knew the outcome. You know what I mean? We knew what the outcome was going to be. So to me, any way you slice it, it just sounds like egregious hate. You know what I mean? And again, it doesn't really have anything to do with Golden Boy at all. So if you don't want to shell out the cash, and I know there's going to be apologists who are like, yeah, man, Oscar's right, man. But at the end of the day, what is he right about? And like I said, at the end of the day, you know it's hate because he's not going to stop anything. If people, you can't, okay, let's say you're a UFC fan, right? You might not even know who Oscar De La Hoya is like that. You know what I mean? In terms of, you don't know his body of work. You don't know that he's fought everyone. You've never watched De La Hoya, Ike Corte, Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez, right? You haven't seen that if you're just a diehard UFC with limited boxing knowledge. So it's already going to get money from that fan base. So for De La Hoya to write this whole essay explaining how fans shouldn't support it, you know what I mean? That, to me, that's above and beyond. Like, you really had someone write this, or you wrote it, that, like, that's what you have on your mind. Like, you have that much time instead of like announcing to the fans when Canelo versus Golovkin, what venue is going to take place at, or being in your fighter's ear. You're bringing up Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, right? At the end of the day, you can't, like I said, you can't block someone else's shine, and it's just it's pure hate, right? You've had plenty of Golden Boy fights where it wasn't what the fans wanted. People wanted the Golovkin fight last year. We're thankful that we're getting it at all, right? But you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy that you would go out of your way that much to hate on another man and try to attempt to stop. And again, I think the reason it doesn't even make sense to do this is because you can't stop a train. You know what I mean? It's like one person trying to stop a train. Get in front of a train, see what happens. You get crushed, you get smashed. And that's how people are with their dollars, right? There's been Golovkin, he's an entertaining style. He had 22, 23 knockouts in a row, but it didn't translate to a highly successful pay-per-view experience in his fight with David Lemieux or his fight with Danny Jacobs, which were both good fights at the time. You know what I mean? People wanted to see it. So that shows you right there that you're not going to be able to convince me. People were saying, HBO was saying that the Triple G fight with Lemieux was going to be Hagler-Hearns. But that just goes to show you it didn't do Hagler-Hearns type of interest. So you can't coax the people into feeling how you want to feel or stop them from spending the money they want to spend. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's $100. Like, I'm not saying everybody's loaded, made money, but I guarantee y'all I'll probably have more entertainment value in the whole process for Mayweather McGregor than spending $70 for Canelo versus Chavez. You know what I mean? Because that was a complete dud. That was a complete dud. You know what I mean? So I feel it's disappointing that De La Hoya would use so much of his energy when he has his own major fight card with Golden Boy. And Canelo's like, he's like kind of the last of a dying breed with Golden Boy. Like, he's clearly the biggest earner, clearly the cash cow, and things like that. It seems like that would be your main focus, to get him fully prepared, because a lot of people believe Golovkin is a major threat to him and to his style and can pull off the upset. So why not, you know what I mean? Why not focus on being the big bro to Canelo, you know what I mean, who's a hell of a fighter, but everybody needs guidance. Everybody needs, like, you know what I mean, tips. Oscar was a hell of a fighter, right? He knows how to scrap. He knows the boxing game, right? Why not use this energy? If you can write 2,000 character essays, why don't you write one about how proud you are about Canelo, or, you know what I mean, just be there in his corner? It just seems like a waste of time. Like I said, Conor has a radical fan base. You telling people to not pay for him, it's not going to work like that. You know what I mean? People are going to pay for whatever they want to pay for. So it just, to me, it seems like he's going above and beyond, and it really sounds salty, and he really sounds jealous. That's the bet. This is another fight. Kirkland couldn't use Ann Wolf, and he was on a 1.5-year layoff. You know what I mean? But the fight still happened. You didn't have a problem with that, right? Lucas Matisse just fought Emmanuel Taylor, who lost to Broner, who lost to Orozco. You didn't have a problem making that, right? But Mayweather versus McGregor is the end of the world. We're having a great year in boxing, you know what I mean? And this is not even, this is just, is more shocking that the hate is so real to me, you know what I mean, above and beyond anything else. Now, before I finish, I gotta say this. Another reason I know it's hate is because, look at this video I made, December 2nd, 2016. Canelo Alvarez will beat Conor McGregor's ass.
I like you, Mayweather.
Right? Per Oscar De La Hoya. And in this, in the description, I tagged the TMZ article. You click on that, it'll pull up. And who is this? Exclusive. Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez would destroy McGregor. Bring it on. December 2nd, 2016. You know who would beat Conor McGregor's ass? Canelo Alvarez. This according to boxing legend Oscar De La Hoya, right? Oscar says Conor would get wrecked by the redhead pugilist, and extended an invitation to McGregor to see how real legends fight. I mean, that tells you that right there. Why did you suggest? And that's not the first time. But why did you say, if Conor McGregor was such a terrible fight, then why'd you suggest that Conor McGregor fight Canelo? And you said, oh, people won't know if Canelo is Irish. They'll think it's too Irish. You know what I mean? He said something like that. So why would you even suggest that if you weren't down? And that again, a lot of people talking about Conor McGregor and this. At the end of the day, all these fighters, all these promoters, they know if they had the opportunity to get their fighter 75 million to 100 million, and then they would get something crazy, 50 million, 250, whatever they get from their promotional cut, they would all do it. It's simple mathematics. It's not no rocket science. It's no mystery. Two big names who have an opportunity to rob the bank. Conor McGregor feels confident that he can beat Mayweather. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're gonna make a lot of money, win, lose, or draw, and that's what it is. Who wouldn't want the opportunity? You know what I mean? Like I said, if you didn't have a problem making this, and these guys didn't even get Canelo and Amir Khan. They got cool money. They got better than average money. You know what I mean? The average Joe. But they didn't make no 75 to 100 million. And I don't think there's anyone out there, UFC or boxing, that's within the weight range of Canelo, that De La Hoya wouldn't make the fight for $100 million. If he knew he could secure Canelo $75 million to fight somebody from the MMA, like Tyron Woodley or somebody, and they wanted to come over to boxing, he would do it. But the fact is, there really isn't a name that's trying to fight Conor McGregor or that's trying to fight Canelo that makes sense. You know what I mean? That'll generate that interest. So it's crazy. And like I said, it's very sad that a grown man would go so far to make his hatred known and put himself on that platform. You just look like you're hating. You have a great fight in Canelo Triple G. It's a dangerous fight for both fighters. It seems like that would be the focus. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.